Somehow, according to the logic of major economists, including those who work for the Reserve Bank, we may need to put up interest rates again to quell key inflationary pressures like residential rents and petrol prices. As most of you will know, the Reserve Bank is obsessed with bringing down the rate of inflation to what it considers to be acceptable levels. And I've searched through their list of policies and possibilities and come up with the brilliant concept that if you increase the interest rates of 1/3 of Australian households, that's the ones who have mortgages, somehow inflation will miraculously come down. So plan A is to put up interest rates. If plan A doesn't work, they move to plan B, which is to put up interest rates. And if plan B fails, they move on to plan C, which is, of course, to put up interest rates. Meanwhile, the federal government has been working hard on its plan to deal with the individual components of high inflation, which is to do absolutely nothing, just leave it to the Reserve Bank. So the RBA now has a new governor, who is Michelle Bullock, whose strategy sounds amazingly similar to her predecessors, which is, if inflation doesn't come down fast enough, we'll put up interest rates. Bullock has stated that she's concerned about stubbornly high inflation, particularly fueled by rising petrol prices and high residential rents. And how would she deal with those issues? Well, she's hinting about moving to plan D, which is to put up interest rates. And no one's explained how putting up the cost of mortgages on 1/3 of Australian households will bring down oil prices, which apparently are under pressure because of the explosive situation in the Middle East. And nor has anyone come up with the rationale about how putting up interest rates, and therefore the biggest single cost of the owners of rental properties, will somehow ease pressure on rents. Anyone who understands how real estate works, and in particular the current dynamics in the housing market, would expect that increasing the costs of investors will cause rents to actually rise further. Naturally, landlords faced with ever increasing costs, and it's not just higher interest rates, will seek to increase the income of the properties that are costing them more and more to own. The market can sustain rental increases because there continues to be a chronic shortage of rental properties, and vacancies are at record historic lows and getting lower and lower month by month. So putting up interest rates is highly likely to cause rents to rise even further. And there's no obvious reason why putting up interest rates will cause petrol prices to drop, given that the overseas billionaires who control oil prices are not greatly affected by the level of Australian interest rates. But don't expect that to have any impact on the thinking of the RBA board and the new governor, because the bureaucratic mentality is the only constant in the universe.